Hello and welcome everyone to round number 2 for Tier 2. USA was a great race and hopefully we're going to have another one here at the Hungaro Ring. Once again, Tier 2 round number 2 from the Hungaro Ring. It should be a great one. Tier 1 had an amazing race, so hopefully we can replicate that in the lower division. Taking you through main comps tonight, it's going to be me, QVR Packer, and for the first time in Tier 2, alongside me is going to be Alt Maverick. How's it going, Maverick?
I'm doing good. Happy that it's almost the weekend, and happy to get going here in Tier 2 and get to commentate over these guys that I raced with last season. And I feel like most of them are probably happy that I'm not racing, but they get to hear my voice once again, and this time it's for a full race distance instead of just the interviews.
Yeah, last season you had a really good race. You qualified on the front row just behind Puff, and you managed to beat him to that first place in the race. So, yeah, a good race from you last season. Just going through the results from last season, it was put up on Twitter yesterday, but in qualifying it was Puff and All Maverick sharing the front row, followed by Soy Loco, Scavney, and Sam M. Soy Loco, Scavney, Sam M, all still in Tier 2. Puff and Maverick have been moved up to the top tier. And then in the race, it was Maverick, Puff, RC, Sam, and Jinnit, with Scavney taking the fastest lap on a 17.1. I'm sure we'll have a few drivers going a little bit faster than that in this race because it has been an extra season. We've had a few more rounds to get the drivers used to this game. As we do have wet qualifying, it does look like heavy wet. Once we get those tires, yeah, it is going to be heavy wet conditions, so it's going to be a difficult qualifying session for these Tier 2 guys.
Yeah, I think we can probably throw out the prospects of last season's qualifying times being beaten. But yeah, I mean, if this track couldn't be any worse than the dry, the wet just makes it 10 times worse. So, but I mean, these guys are really good, so I'm hoping that they can not spin somewhere crash, I guess.
I guess. As
I feel like someone's gonna spin, but I just don't know who or when.
Yeah, we did have a few spinners in the Tier 1 race, as well as in qualifying. Puff being one of those victims in the qualifying session right at the end, trying to push to the absolute limit, trying to find as much time as possible. It is qualifying session, so you're going to be on that low field, trying to go as fast as humanly possible, going throughout this Hungaro Ring. It's known as Monaco without the walls. We do have 14 corners here at the Hungaro Ring. Tempura just coming to the end of that first sector and through the beginning of this middle sector. Very difficult. Turns 4, turn 5, both. As you can see, he's already off the track in the Alpha Tower, just trying to weave, maybe trying to get some tire temperature in those wet. In those full wet tires. A lot of people in the chat saying good luck. Bobby says dry race, and T-Money finally thanking the rain gods for a little bit of rain in Tier 2. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult laps, and I'm sure once that dry line starts to get found out by a few of the drivers, and we have a few more drivers running on the circuit trying to get that dry line, trying to find that dry line, the times will start to tumble.
Yeah, Tempura is going to set a lap time here first, but it's definitely going to be beaten. I mean, not to say that he's not quick around or in Tier 2, but just because the dry line is so important, and if it's going to stay wet this entire quali, then definitely the guy who goes out last will probably get pole position.
Yeah, most definitely. Tempura just breaking into turn 1 there. It's a little bit of downhill braking zone, but it starts to flatten out once you get to that apex. Difficult traction zone on the exit of turn 1. If you touch the curb, you could be in the wall on the right side. Going through that little kink is it's not a corner as classified on the track map, but now down through turn 2. Very easy to lock. A very difficult corner to get correct. Now dipping down through turn 3. You can see he had to get all the way off the throttle there because he had a big snap going through that downhill turn 3, but a little bit of a dip and then back up the hill. Oh, big spin out of turn 4, and he's going to be on the wall, so that's going to be his lap time in the bin. I think Bobby Tava, no, it's going to be the Williams, I do believe, of Niebuhr. No, it's going to be the other Williams of Known Asylum. Going to be the next driver on a lap, Known Asylum. 32.0 for the Williams. Goes a little bit off at turn 4, but lucky not to be invalid. Still going very wide, just carrying a little bit too much speed. He does have that ERS in 0, though. Maybe he made a mistake, or just keeping it 0, trying to get all the grip that he could possibly find through the chicane. of 6 and 7. Looks pretty decent. Not using all the track on the exit, though. Through 8 and through 9, very difficult. You want to try and carry speed, but you also want to have the most optimal line to carry that speed, carry that momentum through the apexes of the corners, through 10 and through 11. Very easy to invalidate and pick up warnings on the exit of that very, very quick right-hander. Purple in the middle sector for the Williams. It's a 106.9, I believe. I just saw there in the top right of the screen. That was across the middle sector, split into turn 12. The final sector. Only 3 corners here of the final of 3 sectors through 13 right there. Looked pretty decent. He still has the ERS down. I'm not exactly sure if that's a mistake or not, or just leaving it down and trying to find as much grip as possible. Out of the final corner through turn 14 across the line. It should be B. It's going to be a 34.4 for him. RC, the next driver to cross the line in the McLaren. He was 1.1 second, or he's 1.8 seconds faster through the first 2 splits, and he does go on to provisional pole with a 31.6. The next driver to cross the line is going to be Scabney, his McLaren teammate, but 1.5 seconds down, though, for the second McLaren. So RC looking pretty decent. Sam M, he's been on form in the season as well as in the preseason race. He's going to be the grid. The next driver is going to be the second Alpha Tower. Mafia goes into P3. So yeah, a few drivers actually looking pretty decent so far.
Yeah, some pretty good lap times, and I think Bobby is actually retired from the session. So he will start P18. And at a track that's already difficult enough to overtake, I think starting at the back, really going to hurt him.
Yeah, most definitely. I had I had to actually deal with that on Monday as Zag goes on to provisional pole position in the Ferrari. We did have a racing point spin there off of turn 1. That's terminal Deity in the barrier. Turn 1, very difficult break on traction zone, as I mentioned, on riding on board with a few drivers on their quality laps. The next driver is going to be a Williams, I do believe. That'll either be... Ooh, we had a Ferrari in the wall. That's GP Colin. GP Colin has really been struggling in these first 2 races. I mean, yeah, kind of have to say Zag has been on the podium and been challenging for those big points. But yeah, GP Colin has actually really been struggling through the first race and through that preseason races. We're only in round number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's on 10 points and we're only on round 2, so a 5th place finish, I mean, isn't too bad for... But I think for GP, a guy of his caliber, it's definitely something that I'd say he's not proud of. You know he can do better, but I think just the wets here at the Hungary. Oh, Tempura's out.
Ooh, where's that? That's just coming out of the final sector, or coming out of the middle sector. We're going to go on board with Barksville. Ooh, yeah, out of turn 11. As we mentioned, on, I think, whose quality lap was that? I think that was Nona Silence, or it was one of the Williams, I believe. First laps of the session. But yeah, turn 11, very, very difficult. It's going to be a place of hopefully not controversy, but it's definitely going to be a difficult corner. It did decide a few drivers' races, as known Asylum, going off through turn 9, I believe there. I think that's going to be the McLaren just following him through. His Bark School puts it in front of RC as well. Soy Loco has actually gone into pole position as well on a 31.1. He's known as a very, very good qualifier, but seems to struggle in that race trim. He does seem to pick up a lot of penalties in those racing conditions. So hopefully he can try and cut back on that this season and pick up those big points that we know that we all know he's capable of. Terminal Deity crosses the line to start another lap, it looks like, for the Racing Point driver. A few drivers coming into the pit lane after doing 2 laps on those full wet tires, maybe coming in for intermediates, but it doesn't look like the rain is going to be letting up anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd say 10 minutes to go and it's still heavy rain. I don't think we'll see the slick tires come out unless someone's feeling really risky, or if they know something that we don't. But I don't think anybody's on a lap here. Maybe I think Soy might be going again. Yeah, I think Soy's going again here.
Yeah, so it is going to be following in D-Zag, though. He was up 3.5 tenths across the middle sector split. It's only 3 more corners to navigate. He's done the first 2. Let's see what he can do on the exit of that final corner out of turn 14. A little bit of a slide, but that's going to be expected. He goes into provisional pole position. He found so much time. He found half of his time in the final sector, but let's see what Soy Loco can answer with across the line. He doesn't improve by enough. He only improved by 2 tenths, so he goes on a 30.997, so barely into the 30s, but Zag on a 30.6, really showing us what he can do in that Ferrari. He's going to have to try and perform. He was in Tier 1 last season at DJ Panda across the line to not improve. But yeah, he was in Tier 1 last season as well as GP Colin. But Zyg really showing us what he can do. He had a strong performance in USA. I believe he might have been on pole position, if I'm not mistaken. And he got third in that race. So let's see what he can do at the Hungaro rings. Terminal Data improves by half a second into P7. Scavney starting a lap is there, as well as DJ Panda's gone off the track at turn 3. That's where we saw Lando put it into the wall at Tier 1. So DJ Panda lucky to get away with not being in that metal barrier there on the exit, or just going into turn 3. I think that's a Red Bull crossing the line. Sam M to start a lap, and Monkey Mafia as well going to be coming across the line to start one as well. So I wonder if Zyg is going to be going again.
Yeah, you can definitely do a few laps here. He's actually invalidated. But if it's raining, I would say put some fuel in and just get the laps in. With the drying up, the dry line there, I really think putting the more laps in, the better. Because the lap time is just going to keep falling. I don't know. I think Wolfsburg might be the next guy.
I think he just invalidated. He did go off the track, and yeah, it does say on track map on the right side of the screen that he did has that red track map, so that does mean he has invalidated. The next driver to cross the line is going to be Hightower. He does have the ear ass up out of that penultimate corner. He's not going to be going towards the pit lane. You can see clearly on the circuit is that dry line. So Loco's still out on track, maybe going for another one, maybe just finished one. Hightower across the line. He improves by 3/10 and will go up into P10, so into that top 10. It doesn't really mean much because drivers are going to be starting on the drive, but Scavney, huge improvement, up into P number 3. It's going to be 31.2 for the McLaren, so he looks really good. He had a little bit of a slow start to the session for his standards, so now he's going to be on to that second row of the grid. I think that was GP Colin who just crossed the line to start a lap. The next driver is going to be Sam M in the Red Bull. He improves by 9/10 and goes onto the front row, so go in front of Soy Loco is known as one of the best qualifiers in Tier 2, but Soy Loco will be going for another lap. He does have 7.5 minutes left in the session, so he has plenty of time to improve on that lap. But right now, Zyg still on pole position and clear by 0.2 of a second in that Ferrari, and he's in the pit lane right now, so maybe looking to see if those intermediate tires are getting any faster than they are right now, or he's just waiting to go out on that second set of full wet tires. It is going to be a wet race, so he does he's going to have every driver on the grid is going to be having that tire compound choice going into this race. So actually the strategies are going to be really interesting in this one as well.
Yeah, I've heard a lot coming from other leagues that the alternate strategy here is pretty good. So I think the front runners knowing that they can use that strategy, it might kind of change their opinions on this track.
Ooh,
Wolfsburg.
Yeah, that's a good lap from
Wow.
Wolfsburg there. I'm sure you're a little bit sad he couldn't have done that as your teammate, but yeah, there it is. Wolfsburg into P4.
I mean, I'm happy he's doing it, but I mean, last season would have been nice.
Do it like 3 races earlier, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now RC is going to be, I think he's on a lap. He's up by 9/10. So this actually could be pole position, depending on what he can do through the final sector. RC only P3, he lost 2/10 in the final sector, actually. So RC in the McLaren still has a little bit of a time in that lap. I did see DJ Panda, who has selected the intermediates, is going to be going out. I think that's a little bit ambitious from him.
Yeah.
He does have to let Monkey Mafia through. You can see Monkey Mafia is actually struggling on the wet tires, trying to get it stopped into turn 1. Yeah, those intermediates, unless unless it's starting to dry out, I don't think that is going to be a viable option for the Alfa Romeo driver. You can see Sam M as well as Niebuhr both trying to get out of the way on the grass there. Yeah, DJ Panda is just struggling on those tires, but I think the next driver to cross the line is going to be Barkschool. Jin saying in the chat that Niebuhr for pole. Sadly, he's down at P15 right now on an outlap. Barkschool goes on to provisional pole position. So maybe the conditions are starting to thin out ever so slightly. Drivers are starting to go a lot fast. So let's check in with RC. Once he crosses that middle sector split, I know there's a few drivers in front of him. That's Mercedes. I believe that's going to be the Mercedes of Hightower. He's going to be crossing the line, but RC 4/10 up. This could put him onto provisional pole position. He finds that time. He lost in the last sector on his last lap. Right now, 1:13 just crossing. So that's what he would have been aiming for in a round. or that's what the tier 1 drivers would have been aiming in and around in a dry qualifying session, but he was only coming out of turn 13 there. But now the McLaren out of the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Trying to use that curve, trying to get as much exit speed as possible across the line. RC goes in a provisional pole position. How much time did he find there? He lost, I think, almost 5/10 of his lap time there in that final sector, so it must have been a huge mistake from the McLaren driver. A lot of drivers in the pits still, as DJ Panda on the inters will be starting a lap. We'll have to check in with him once he gets to that first sector. A few drivers on out laps right now. Purple Squirrel, I think, might be the closest one to be on a lap, if unless Barkskull's on one. No, Barkskull's backed off. But yeah, RC on the provisional pole position. He was in and around 4th or 5th towards the back end of the Tier 2 season last time, but now he's on provisional pole position. It's going to be amazing to see what RC can do.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what most of these guys can do, not only in this wet quali, especially at such a tough track like this. I mean, I think this just brings out the best skill level of these guys. But not only for the rest of the season. We got that sort of randomized schedule, the Wheel of Fate, decided our schedule this season. So we'll be following with the classic IRL calendar. So some tracks that drivers might like at the end of the season probably are going to be happening very soon. So that might shake up the championship order.
Yeah, RC did take a shock podium when we came to the Hungary for season number 4. I'm not exactly sure where he started, but he started very, very well down the order. I think he did, was it medium soft or hard soft? I know he finished on the softs, and it was a great strategy call from, at the time, the Racing Point driver, DJ Panda, deciding not to finish the lap that he was on those intermediate tires. But right now, Loco, I think, is going to be the closest one to finish a lap, unless it's Niebuhr on the lap. Actually, it's going to be Niebuhr, who has the ERS turned up, coming out of turn 14 right there. He's going to cross the line. He's going to set a lap time, but it's not going to be all that great. So now, going on board with the Mercedes of Soy Loco, he's in the wet parts of the track. Sam M is out of the session at turn 5. You must have touched that the curb on the inside there and just put it into the wall. Let's go on board as Zyg is starting a lap. Let's go on board with a Lit Romney coming through turn 4 right now and going to be going on board for turn 5. That curb on the inside is very, very deadly. Where is his car? Oh, it's in the wall over there. That's a very weird spot to be in the barrier, but he has found himself in Purple Squirrel, closest one on a lap, but he's invalid. Niebuhr, no, that's going to be the other Williams of known as Asylum. He's on a 32.1 right now, as actually a few drivers are starting to select inters, so maybe the inters are getting faster here. RC in provisional pole position, Barkskull in second place, both on the inters as well. Monkey Mafia and Terminal Deity have selected the inters as well. I don't think it's going to be early enough. I don't think it's going to drive. Oh, known Asylum into the wall at the exit of the final corner, losing a ton of his front wing. He's not going to be able to get around to do another lap or to even put on a new front wing. The next driver to cross the line, it's going to be Lit Romney. He's up by 6/10 across the middle sector. Split, he's in P9 right now. He improves to P6 at the 31.1. So he's the highest driver right now in the 31 lap. He's in the 31 lap time. So it's a good lap for him. He's going to be putting himself onto the third row of the grid right now. Niebuhr, the next driver to cross the line. He hasn't used much ERS on his lap, but he improves by 1.9 seconds and will stay in the final slot on the grid. Terminal Deity crosses the line to start a lap on the intermediate. So there's a McLaren, or Mercedes and a Ferrari. I think that was Zyg and Soy Loco crossing the line. The next driver is going to be Monkey Mafia on the inters to start a lap. I think it's, once again, I think it's too early for those intermediate tires, but the later you go out in the session, possibly the better for those tires. Scavney in P8, he improved, well, he didn't improve by 1.8 seconds, otherwise he would have been on provisional pole position, but he's going to be starting a lap. The Haas of Wolfsburg, your teammate from last season, going to be starting his final lap of the session. GP Colin. No, it's not GP Colin. It is DJ Panda to start a lap. He's going to be close 2 seconds when he crosses the line. So the next driver to cross the line is going to be finishing the session. That was a driver off. I think that was Wolfsburg starting a lap. He's off the track at turn. What is that? Turn 1. We have a few yellow flags throughout as RC, I think, just crossed the line, and he wasn't able to make it. Scavney, purple in the first sector. I was just clicking through the order. The next driver to cross the line, I think that was, it's going to be, who is that? It's one of the Alfa Romeos. It might have been DJ Panda, but Zyg right now, purple middle sector for the Ferrari driver. Let's see what he can do through this final sector. There's a Williams of Known Asylum just off the track there at turn 13, trying to get out of the way because this could be a possible pole position lap for the Ferrari, for Zyg. He's trying to keep that momentum that he had from USA. Let's see what he can do out of turn 14, using all the track that he could take confidently. Zyg only onto the front row. It's a 30.3 for the Ferrari driver. I think that's a racing point. That's Terminal Dady on the inters. He doesn't improve. He must have made a mistake because he was 7.7 seconds down. Scavney, purple in the first sector. Let's see what he can do. He has a little bit of a slide out of the final corner. P8 for Scavney. He goes up into P3. So he's going to be following his teammate right there on the left side of the grid. I wonder what the two McLarens could do in terms of strategy. The next driver to cross the line is a little bit further back, but I think it's going to be DJ Panda. Right now, he's up by 6 tenths. He's outside the top 10. As it stands for the time being, but right now DJ Panda using all the track, using so much track, is a little bit of a snap. 31.2 for him, P9 only for the Alfa Romeo. The next driver to cross the line, I think that is going to be Soyloco, who's actually finished, no, it's going to be Hightower, who's actually finished the session. So yeah, I think this session is over as Wolfsburg is the only one out on track after making that mistake at turn 1. So yeah, RC on pole position, followed by Zyg and Scavney.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, especially with the two McLarens up at the top. It'll be interesting to see if they kind of choose the same strategy, or if one, goes for the one stop, one goes for the two stop, or someone goes for the mediums or the hards first. But I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see the inters get to work out here. I was following Deity when he started his lap, and he didn't go purple sector 1, so I knew the inters weren't going to be ready, as he was the first guy out. So a bit disappointed for that, but I mean, RC on pole by 2 tenths, that's a really good lap, especially on wet tires.
Yeah, most definitely. Bag of Bones and Puff saying, Bag of Bones saying that Tier 2 is now disbanded because RC_NI has gotten pole position, and Puff in the chat saying as well that an RC bottle is guaranteed. Puff, I don't know how you're talking, but we'll just leave it at that. Yeah. Jin in the chat is, actually we have to go through the quality order, but yeah, RC, Zyg, Scavney, Barksville, Sam, Soyloco, Lit Romney actually with a pretty decent qualifying, as well as Wolfsburg. They're going to be 7th and 8th. DJ Panda, Monkey Mafia are the top 10. GP Colin, Terminal Dating, Known Asylum, Hightower, Purple Squirrel, Niebuhr, Bobby, and Tempura are going to be the rest of the order. Bobby and Tempura not setting lap times. But yeah, let's go back to the chat. Bobby and Janet were talking about, Janet was talking about a possible soft medium strategy. Maybe if you want to have no tire life, but maybe, I mean, it's totally possible for some of these Tier 2 guys. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be thinking about, but yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting strategy going into this one.
Yeah, I don't know why Jin's talking about the soft mediums. I was barely able to pull off the soft hards last season. I had to pit on lap 2 after I tried to punt Puff off at the penultimate corner. But at least it's dry. Well, we knew that.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Let's see what else Janet is talking about. Janet talking about his tire wear from Tier 1, saying it's possible. Maxi in the chat voting for Tempura for a good race. Bagabone saying that he knows RC sweated a lot for Hungary, and it seems to pay off considering he's on pole position. Puff throwing shots at me after I threw shots at him, saying that hopefully no one gets a drive-through for jumping the start. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting strategy. So I think if drivers are to start on the softs, they're going to be trying to make their way through the field and then pitting around lap 5 or 6, maybe a little bit later for hard tires to go to the end, or either mediums to do the 2-stop. And if you're going to be going out of the mediums, you want to be pitting around lap 26, 27. The soft tires will start to die off towards the end of the race, like the last 2 or 3 laps. If you're starting on the mediums, you have 2 options. You can either pit around lap 13, 14 to go to the hards, or you can pit when Camden did the race-winning strategy from Tier 1, P12 to P1. For him, he pitted on lap 26 for the soft tires from the mediums. And then if you're starting on the hards, I'm not exactly sure when you'd be pitting, but it'd definitely be a hard soft strategy. I'm guessing around lap 27 or 28 for the drivers who decided to start on the hardest compound of the 3 sets that we have brought to the Hungaroring. But yeah, once we get underway on this formation lap, we can start to depict what these drivers are starting to think about.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Knowing that it's a wet quali, I'm hoping that we'll see a few mix-ups of the strategies, and hopefully a few guys towards the front starting on different tires, and get to see the different strategy battles that I think Formula One racing is known for. And yep, there we go. We're getting ready. Awesome.
Yeah, Monkey Mafia is the race director, and he decides when we do indeed go onto that formation lap. So the drivers are going to be beginning to ready up, as we do only have 10 seconds until that formation lap starts. So, yeah, crucial things to think about, especially on tires. Tire temperatures here are going to be absolutely crucial. On and dry quality on the soft compound tires, you do have to back off if you don't want, or on your outlap if you don't want to overheat those tires. As we do see RC, or the 2 McLarens have split strategies. RC on pole position on the soft tires, and Scavney in second on the mediums. But yeah, let's look towards that strategy right now. Ooh, Nona Asylum has already disqualified himself. That is great. RC going to be on pole position on the soft compound tires, so trying to break away very, very early. Zig, Scavney, Barksquaw, Sam M, Soyloco, all going to be on the mediums. Lit Romney, Wolfsburg, gonna be on the softs as well. They're gonna be looking to make up positions. DJ Panda on the mediums, Monkey Mafia on the softs, GP Con on the mediums, Terminal Deity is gonna be the first driver on the hards in P12. Known Asylum on the mediums, who has already disqualified himself from the formation lap. Hightower going to be on the hards. Purple Squirrel Niebuhr on the mediums. Bobby Tava on the hards. And Tempura in last place. Going to be starting on the soft. So trying to make up positions very, very early on in the race. He's going to have to make them up as soon as possible, because once that DRS, which both of us experienced and a lot of drivers experienced in Tier 1 on Monday night, it's going to be a huge DRS train. So you really, really don't want that.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more famous DRS train tracks, I'd say, other than Silverstone. But I was thinking to myself when I saw the tires come up, I was expecting people to go on the mediums, but I wasn't expecting this many people to go on the mediums. I don't think I've ever seen a race start where there's more people on the mediums than softs when there was a wet quali. So this is going to be really interesting.
Well, if we look back to the 24-hour event at Hungary, it was a wet one-shot qualifying, and if I remember correctly, because it was 5 a.m. and I was half asleep, but literally everyone started on the medium compound. When I say everyone, I mean all 20 drivers started on the mediums.
Well, they're all sweats, that's why.
That's true, it's true, but we did have someone from ZOR in there, so it can't be that bad. Well, okay, shots thrown. But anyway, so we're going to get the 5 red lights as Tempura slotted into his final grid slot on the right side of the starting grid here at the Hungaroring. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. A little bit of a shorter hold there for the drivers, but it looks like RC's had a pretty decent start. If I can find him on the thing, but actually no, he's not had the greatest of starts. Zig is going to be up into the first place on the grid. Barksco up the inside as well. The 2 McLarens make a little bit of contact. Soy Loco on the Mercedes getting squeezed on the inside of turn 1, the Red Bull. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but I think it's Sam trying to find a gap up on the inside of RC. That's Scavney, who's had not the greatest of starts. He's still in 4th place for the time being, but Soy Loco and Sam going side by side through turn 3. I think the Red Bull driver is going to have that position up into P5 there as Zig leads us away in first place. We do, I think that's a Racing Point and a Mercedes who have made a little bit of contact. They're just a little bit further down the field. Soy Loco and Wolfsburg make contact. Soy Loco getting squeezed to the inside of turn 5 there. He's going to be having a little bit of a spin. Going back to what we said earlier, struggling in the race trim. He's going to be dropping down all the way down to P16 on those medium tires, so he could possibly make a comeback. Right now, Zyg leading us away, followed by RC Barkskull, who's had a little bit of gap out in front. Actually, I think that's glitched. But Scabney, P4, Sam M, P5, Wolfsburg trying to make the move up the inside of the Red Bull driver. He's not going to be close enough to make that one. His overtake is still on, so he's already used almost 40% of that battery. So yeah, trying to make up positions as early as possible on those soft tires. It is understandable from the Haas driver, but Tempur and Known Asylum going side by side through the final sector, but Tempur just drives all the way around the outside of him. Tempur from P18 is already up into P11, almost into that top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty okay start. We saw Soy get kind of, I think he went wide at turn 3 and then got squeezed on the inside curve as he makes a move on Terminal Deity there. So a pretty poor start for Soy, but he's on the medium, so he's definitely got some recovery to make, and a big one at that.
Yeah, right now is the time to start to glitch out. That was Scabney for the moment. In the lead, oh, Barkskull into the wall. He's lost his front wing. He's spun out from P3 in the race. That's going to be absolutely devastating for the Renault drivers. The Renaults in Tier 1 and Tier 2 seeming to struggle here at the Hungaroring, not having the greatest of races so far. Barkskull going to be into the wall there at turn number 5, so he's going to be dropping all the way down the field, which Andy also has front wing damage, so he's going to have to get off those mediums. I'm not exactly sure which strategy he's gonna go for. Maybe for the hards to the end of the race, but it's gonna be a little bit of a gamble on tire wear if he wants to go to the end. And he's going to have to get his front wing changed. But right now going back to the battle for the lead of the race. Going on to lap number 3. DRS is enabled. We're not going to see it in action just quite yet. We're going to have to wait till lap 4 for that one. Zyg sets fastest lap of the race, but it's going to very many drivers. So Scabney and Sam M, who eventually ends up with that one. But RC not closing up. He's not right on the gearbox of Zyg, which is actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, I think it was really important for Zai to get ahead of RC there to, I think, just hold him back a bit, but I'm really surprised that RC hasn't tried to make an overtake, especially being on the softer tires. You'd think he'd be quicker, but this is such a high downforce track that it's really hard to overtake. There's not too many places to do it, so if he's going to do it, he's going to have to send it at some chicane or hairpin or somewhere.
Yeah, most definitely. We do have only a few overtaking spots. Who's that in the wall? I think that's DJ Panda, who's made a little bit of a mistake. I don't think he has any front wing damage. At least it doesn't look like it. So yeah, he's going to be dropping down a few places. He's already in the grass. Maybe just getting a little bit shook, or maybe just tires not being in the best of conditions. But as we say that, as we challenge RC to get onto the gearbox of Zyg, he just needed one extra lap. And he's going to have DRS on this one. And he's not been using any of his ERS. As you look, he's on 99%. He's almost on 100. He most definitely should be on 100 going into the final corner. Yeah, he's on 100 there in the McLaren. He's going to have the DRS. Zyg used 40% of ERS trying to pull away, and he wasn't able to complete it. RC use the DRS, use the overtake. He's not going to be close enough though into turn 1. He's going to have a second shot at it going through the second DRS zone. He's going to activate the DRS. Is he going to use the overtake? Zyg used a little bit of his overtake as well, just around 20%. But RC, Zyg defending that P1 position right now on the circuit. RC is not going to be close enough to make that move. Terminal Deity and Niebuhr going at it once again into turn 1, to lap 3, and now lap 4 for the Racing Point and the Williams. They're going to be side by side down to turn 1. Let's see what Terminal Deity can do on the inside of that second corner. Niebuhr is on the mediums, Terminal Deity is on the hards, so in theory Terminal Deity could have the better grip here, but he gets squeezed to the apex of turn 3, and Terminal Deity gets that one extra position. So yeah, great moves throughout the field and a great battle for the lead. Let's see how this one ends up.
Yeah, it's a real shame that RC probably couldn't get past Zyg, as Known Silent picks up a penalty, and I think that's actually... Oh! RC's around!
Is he?
Yeah, he spun.
Well, Puff did predict it in the comment section that RC would be on for a bottle, and now that has affected RC out on track. He's going to be dropping all the way down to P9. I don't think he's lost any front wing. No, it does not look like it, but now those soft tires are going to be really, really heated. after that spin. So Loco making up positions right now, past DJ Panda, and trying to get it past Nona Asylum. He made the move down the inside of DJ Panda at turn 13, but now Soy Loco just driving around the outside of Nona Asylum in the Williams. Soy Loco making a great comeback already. He made he had a spin on lap 1 after turn 5, and now he's just behind RC, who was almost leading this race just a lap ago, or just a few corners ago. Now Soy Loco is going to be up in the P10, RC into P9, but Tempura, who's had an amazing start to this one so far, is already up into P7, but GP Colin is really starting to pressure him in behind.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see the beginning of this train here behind Tempura, and obviously RC, now he's looking to make the comeback, and when RC did spin, so did Purple to score, and I think Soy's off. Yeah, Soy's off.
Oh, Soy Loco making another mistake. Yeah, once again, we did mention in qualifying that Soy Loco struggles in race conditions. You can see that he's already had 2 spins and it's only been 5 laps. It doesn't, and he has lost front wing this time on the exit of turn 5, so not the greatest race for him. DJ Panda picks up a penalty as well, along with Nona Sam, and Tempura has been pushing very, very early on in this race, trying to make up time, trying to make up positions. After starting from the back, starting from P18, Hightower getting past his Mercedes team in Soy Loco right now on track. But right now, Zayek from second on the grid is leading. It jumped RC on the start, and now it's starting to pull away ever so slightly from Scavney. He does have the DRS, does the McLaren driver, but he's really low on fuel and very low on overtake. Right now, Zayek just around 50%. The McLaren is on 30. RC and GP Colin are starting to battle out on track. They're fighting. Now RC up the inside of contact there on the front axles for those two drivers. We have a little bit of a yellow flag, and behind RC trying to go around the outside of turn 3. Tempura does have is missing it left side end plate, but almost going side by side through turn 4. Tempura trying to get the switch back. Oh, contact! Oh, no. RC is going to be into the wall. I think he just got damaged at Tempura, making contact with the back of the gearbox of the McLaren. And both of them are going to be dropping positions and dropping off the track there. So that battle for P7 has gone by the wayside for those drivers. GP Khan will be taking those 2 positions with Known Asylum Niebuhr as well, taking those positions as well. So RC and Soy Loco as well as Tempura now all making huge mistakes and contact with other drivers and really throwing away the positions that they were in.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad to see a lot of these front runners making mistakes, but I mean, I don't think you can really call RC's spin there a mistake. I mean, it looked like he was a bit loose, but that's just how you take that turn. I think just getting hit from the back by Tempura, I think that just sent him around.
Yeah, I did have a little bit of a slide, but as you mentioned, that's just the nature of the corner. So Loco picks up a time penalty after pitting for a new front wing and for new hard compound tires. He's going to be down in P18 now with that 3-second disadvantage to the end of his race time. A battle between Terminal Data and Niebuhr into turn 1. They're battling on lap 3 and 4. Now they're going to be battling on lap 7. Just 3 laps past that lap 4 battle. Terminal Data is going to have that position though, as DJ Panda and RC. No, RC is going to be into the pit lane for a new front wing. Yeah, he did damage both end plates there, and will be fitting the hard tires. He can take those to the end, so hopefully trying to make up time because they're doing that one less pit stop than possibly than other drivers. But looking towards the front of the field right now, Tempura is right up the gearbox of Niebuhr going through that middle sector. But Zayek has started to pull away from Scavney and he has also broken the DRS. But Sam M, who's actually could be a really big contender for this one, he won last time out in USA, and he's looking very, very strong right now. He's sticking within the DRS of Scavney. Tempura, who does have that wing damage on the front left of his Alpha Tower, is starting to struggle a little bit on the softs, maybe looking for a pit stop here in the next few laps. But yeah, it's been a really interesting. Actually, I think GP Con has gotten past Known Asylum, or has gotten passed by Known Asylum as well.
Yeah, the front 3 are all in the same strategy, so they're going to be pitting around the same lap, I'd imagine. So I'm hoping that this battle goes to the end. This little 3-car train they're forming. And Wolfsburg, Monkey Mafia, Romney, they're kind of in their own little world right now. I mean, they're close enough to where they can, have a little strategy battle, but they're, far enough away to where dirty air and all that nonsense really hinders them. But yeah, I don't think there's any real close battles. Maybe Barksville and Purple Squirrel.
Yeah, I think Barksville just got past the hash driver of Purple Squirrel up into P15. Barksville looked really, really strong in this one and then had an early spin through turn 4. Has already caught out 2 drivers, including RC7 as well as Tempura Zoom, who's still not pit, even with that wing damage. He's still following Niebuhr through these 14 corners of the Hungaro ring, as Sam M and Scavney actually switched positions into turn 1. So Scavney was able to, or Sam M was able to get that move done into turn 1. Scavney low on fuel, low on ERS, but Sam M is even lower on ERS, but he does have more fuel right now. So Sam M is going to be trying to push on towards Zig out in the lead of the race, and you can see he's already doing, he's closing down through the first sector, just just on the exit there of turn 3, a little bit of a slide going into turn 4, but once again, as we mentioned, that is the nature of the corner. Having a little bit of a slide there through there is pretty common. Someone just sat past the slot. That was DJ Panda in the Alfa Romeo on those new medium tires, so he's looking to get up to speed pretty quickly though after his pit stop. Soiloko getting past Purple Squirrel. Soiloko has a lot of work to do if he wants to get up to the heights in the grid order that he was earlier on. Terminal Data, I think, has just had a little bit of a spin, maybe contact with another driver. That's another driver that's been caught out by turn 5 there. So Loco getting caught out, or having contact with Wolfsburg and spinning as well. But now Scavney and Sam M have switched positions as well. They're going side by side through the penultimate corner and through the final corner. Sam M is going to have that inside line, but these two are really fighting. And so Loco gets around the outside, but now Sam M is going to have the DRS like he had last lap. He's going to be up the inside of turn 1. Scavney cannot do much to fight this, except for maybe get a switchback, going for that switchback line, going down to first gear, trying to get that extra rotation on the apex of the corner, as Wolfsburg and Lit Romney both pull into the pit lane from the soft tires. Tempura will be doing that as well, and he's also going to be most likely getting that front wing change. But Sam M, after fighting with Scavney, maybe making a mistake there through the final corner, Scavney and Sam M will be switching positions and will be staying there. But now Sam, after being 1 second behind Zig, is going to be 2.7 behind the race leader.
Yeah, that little battle definitely cost them. They were side by side even to the or even through the third to last corner. So that battle was that entire last sector, and it cost him 1.3 or I think 1.6 seconds. But now Sam, he's closed the gap by 0.3 just through the top of the track there. So Sam is definitely on a mission, and he doesn't want to lose any of that time he lost to Scavney. He's going to try to get it back.
Yeah, just looking to some of the strategies for these drivers. Wolfsburg from the soft tires, he pit on the previous lap. He's going to be going to the hard tires, so he's looking for that one stop. Lit Romney has pit onto the medium, so possibly looking for a soft medium strategy. I'm not exactly sure if that would work, but the drivers have taken the tires longer. Terminal Dady has made a mistake. He's spun out of turn 8 there. That's an unusual place to go around, especially on that part of the circuit. Looking for a few battles throughout the field. Terminal Dady on those fresh medium tires, possibly looking for a move on Hightower right now. Hightower has been on those tires, I think, from the beginning of the race, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Lit Romney on the mediums is really struggling to get past him, though. It is Hungary, though. Very, very difficult to overtake. But look at the pace that Sam M has in the Red Bull. I think he made a mistake either through the middle sector or on the last sector when him and Scavney were battling, because they dropped so much time. But look at the pace he has right now. 1.9 seconds. He's closed in 0.8 of a second in just the last lap. So he's really showing some great pace there. Possible championship contender are the top 3 there in the race right now. I think DJ Pan and Hightower are fighting as well, as Terminal Dady will finally come into the pit lane for a set of mediums and a front wing. So looking to go to the win. Ooh, Sam M picks up a time penalty. He didn't do it in the USA, but he's done it through 11 laps here at the Hungaro ring. So really trying to extract as much pace as possible, starting to lead him off the circuit past those white lines with all 4 tires. So he's going to be picking up warnings, picking up penalties. That's really not going to help him, because Zig and Scavney both don't have penalties, and also a lot of other drivers, as actually, as I say that, so Loco picks up his second time penalty. So yeah, a lot of drivers actually don't have pens so far throughout this one.
Yeah, it's pretty clean. I think there's more guys with pens than without, as Monkey Mafia pulls into the pits. 11 laps on the softs. That's really good for him, and I think he's the last guy on the softs. But Sam M still closing into pace, but he has almost no ERS. So I think that's where his pace has been coming from. So I think maybe now that gap should start to stay the same, but I don't think so. Oh wow, it is it is still dropping. Wow.
Yeah, Sam, just before the preseason race at China, got a new wheel. He got a Fanatec, and now he won the last 2 races of the season so far. Bark School, no, that is Bobby, who's had a spin. So I don't want to say classic Bobby, but it's a pretty. Bobby normally does that. Not to throw any shots, as this stream is already very, very controversial. But yeah. Looking back to the battle for the lead, all these guys are going to be on the are on medium tires right now. Sam still using that ERS, trying to defend from Scavney, but he's going to be too far back to make a move for that second place out on track. But now Sam M, I think next lap, if he keeps his pace up, should have DRS. Will most definitely have DRS just on the apex there and on the exit of turn 1. He's already within that DRS range, or he's within DRS range for the next lap.
Yeah, I really think the pace that Sam is showing, especially through the second sector. Oh, Niebuhr's out.
Niebuhr is out of the race in P10. Yeah, penultimate quarter. Safety car.
Oh, safety car. Oh,
okay, this is going to be perfect for the race leaders right now because they can pit from the mediums, go to the hard compound tires, as well as known as Silent GP Cullen. All the guys who are out on the mediums, they're going to have such an advantage because they haven't pit yet. Obviously, the top 3 are very, very close, within 2 seconds of each other, and a little bit of a gap back to known asylum. So they're going to have basically a free pit stop.
Yeah, this definitely played into their hands. Being on this strategy and being quick as well, and creating that gap with the guys behind. This is gonna be really interesting now.
Yeah. How's this gonna affect?
Sam pulls in, Scavney pulls in, so yeah, top 3's in.
Yeah. Real question though is how is this gonna affect GP Collins' race as well? Because Zag is in the pit lane, he's in the Ferrari. Sharing that pit box is going to be GP Collins, but let's see what this strategy seems, what that strategy is going to be. Zag gets hold up just a little bit by the McLaren of Scavney, but Scavney is not going to be affected by that. I think Zag is going to be out in the race lead though. Yeah, he is. He's going to be followed by Sam and Scavney. Known Asylum, GP Collin going to be both into the pit lane. I think that was the Haas of Purple Squirrel who's just unlapping himself. Known Asylum actually picks up a 5-second speeding penalty, but GP Collin, he's going to have a slow pit stop. Oh. Yeah, slower by just around 2 seconds, maybe 3 for the Ferrari driver. Pulling, yeah, they really need to fix that for the next game. Does EA or Codemasters, whoever's making it, but yeah, they need to fix that. Drivers who stayed out, I think, or Wolfsburg, so he can be assuming 4th place on track, known as Monkey Mafia. I decided not to come to the pits. Obviously, we watched GP Collin and Known Asylum coming to the pit lane. Known Asylum picking up that 5-second time penalty. The 2 Alfa Romeos decide to double stack. Bark School decides to stay out, which is an interesting choice. He's taking that truck position over the outright pace. So Loco, who can go to the end, is going to be staying out as well. So he's going to be picking up P9 and looking to make up positions throughout the rest of the race, with the field being bunched up and not as much time to gain out in clean air. DJ Panda let Romney double stack. DJ Panda going for hards, let Romney going for the mediums. Tempura, after having contact with RC, is going to be in P12 on the hards, deciding not to pit. Hightower is going to be on the mediums, as well as Terminal Deity. RC and Bobby both pit for mediums. They're going to be P15 and P16. And Purple Squirrel, who actually was not able to get out in front of the leaders, is going to be in P4 on track, but he's going to be P17 once he and he is lapped right now.
Yeah, so some very interesting strategy calls from everyone down the field. I'm interested in seeing how long these cards from Bark School will go. I mean, 10 laps already. Like you mentioned, he chose the track position over the fresh tires. But I think already being on those hards, you don't get another set. So I think he was kind of forced to stay out or go on a 2-stop from here. This is going to be interesting from him. And Wolfsburg, obviously he pitted early, but he came out in the same position that he pitted in. So I guess that's a net neutral for him to come out in that same position that he pitted from. But you got to think that maybe his tires are going to be a bit warmer than everybody else, and everybody else is around him. Maybe he can make some moves there on Scavney and Sam M, trying to get on the podium.
Yeah, maybe try and disrupt the top three who've been absolutely flying through the first 15 laps of this race. Just looking towards the position games right now, Zag is up 1, starting second place, jumping RC off the start, and not looking back. Sam M is going to be jumping up 3 positions as well. Scavney not losing but not gaining any positions off the start as Tempura picks up a 5-second time penalty for contact with Lit Romney, which is interesting. Wolfsburg up 4, Monkey Mafia up 5 in P4 and P5. Nona Asylum up 7 positions in P6. GP Colin is going to be up 4 from in P7 right now. Bark School, Soy Loco, DJ Panda, and Lit Romney as the safety car is going to be in this lap has dropped 4, 3, 1, and 4 positions respectively. Tempura is up 6 positions from last on the grid and has picked up front wing damage with that contact between himself and Lit Romney in the Alfa Romeo just in front. Hightower has picked up 1. Terminal Data has picked up 2. But RC right now, the biggest loser after contact with Tempura is down 14. Bobby up 1. And Purple Squirrel is down 2 to end that out. But now going back to the tire graphic, Zag is going to be leading us on to lap number 16. He's up to 3rd gear, and it looks like he's punched it out of the final corner, shifting up the gears, turning on the ERS. He's going to have an amazing restart. Sam M really struggling with those tire taps, trying to get the exit out of the final corner. Scavney using a little bit of his overtake, but Sam using even more as we're going 3 wide, I think, just in behind. No, that's just the lapped car, but Scavney and Sam M just looking forward back to their, looking back to their battle. They're not, Scavney and not having the greatest exits out of turn 1, but right now Bark School trying to make up positions. He had a spin earlier on, but not going to be close enough to the Ferrari. So Loco trying to make up positions after having 2 spins earlier on in this race. He's going to be trying to make himself, or trying to go up positions from P9 into P8, and maybe even further. He does have the 2 seconds, or those 2 time penalties, so that's really going to be holding him back throughout the rest of this race. But yeah, right now, Zag has had an amazing restart. Let's see what Sam M and Scavney can do to try and chase him down, as well as Wolfsburg, who's having an amazing race so far in P4.
Yeah, Zag, he got the early jump on them. He went about as early as I expected him to. But I really didn't expect him to get that big of a jump. But Sam M, he still seems to be the quickest guy out on track, even if he is on those hard tires.
Yeah, right now, a lot of drivers trying to fight for position as Soy Locos make contact with the back of Bark School here for the battle for P7. Nona Asylum is really dropping positions. He's really struggling. He's used a lot of his ERS, but to no avail so far. Bark School is going to be staying in that P7 for the time being. So local up positions, DJ Panda, Lit Romney, and Terminal Daddy all making up positions as well around the outside of Nona Asylum at the final corner. It's a great move there for the Racing Boy driver, Bobby, trying to make a positions on the Mercedes of Hightower. He's going to be switching to the inside, going down towards turn 1. He used 35% of that ERS storage, and he's going to be up into P14. But actually, Hightower is still trying to keep it around the outside, a little bit off the track there at the first corner. Hightower also dropping a position to RC, so RC trying to make a positions in this one as well. After having that contact with the drivers in front of him, Terminal Zadie making another amazing move, but now going side by side into turn 4. Lit Romney will back out of that one as Nona Asylum's around the outside of turn 4, getting that one done, but now going side by side through turn 5. Lit Romney fighting it back, contact with Nona Asylum. He's going to be ghosted, and who is that? That's Hightower as well as spun through turn 5. So another 2 victims for the depth curve there at turn number 5. But Terminal Daddy started that one off with a great move through turn number 3. Let Romney dropping a place to him. As the Mercedes and the Williams both spinning off and dropping many positions, but now RC going into turn 12. Let's see what he can do, trying to make the move on Tempura, but not going to be close enough. A little bit of contact, so getting payback from a few laps ago is the McLaren driver, but not able to get past the driver in front of him. But now looking the battle for second place, looking on the back of Sam M. Let's see what he can do. Scavney not going to be close enough. Sam M has used a lot of ERS, but right now Scavney trying to fight it back. He's going to be going to the outside for turn number 2. He used a lot of ERS, the same as Sam, trying to keep it around the outside is the McLaren. I don't think he's going to have the momentum, but actually keeping it around the outside, doing a very good job up the inside of turn 3, but he's going to have to back out of that one.
Yeah, some good defensive driving there from Sam to really hold back Scavney. But I think Sam and Scavney are the 2 fastest guys on this track still. So I just don't think he's got the pace to keep this lead.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like as Sam's closing the gap. He's right on the gearbox of the Ferrari. In front of him is 3 tenths separating the top 2, and it's 8 tenths separating the top 3. Ooh, Sam M cutting turn 11 there. Not the greatest slide, and just a little bit too much turning for that Red Bull. He's used it to perfection so far throughout that race, but really struggling, it seems, on that, well, not struggling, but not having the greatest of runs through that corner. So Loco picks up a time penalty at turn 11. That's going to be his third. That's what he's known for, not to throw shots, but yeah, he does pick up a few time penalties, or he has picked up a few time penalties in the time that we have been that I've been commentating over him, and the time that you have raced against him. He's going to be pulling into the pit lane either to fix front wing damage possibly, or just to go on to a new set of medium tires. But now, looking towards Terminal Data, he's going to be close enough. DJ Panda had the DRS off of Soy Loco. Terminal Data not going to be close enough to make that move. The battle for the top spot on the podium right now has started to thin out ever so slightly. Terminal Data once again not going to be close enough. That's a yellow flag. I think that's for the Williams for Known Asylum, who's at a spin out of the final corner, so that's not going to be great for him. So Loco is pit for a new set of medium tires as we have virtual safety car. I think that's for Known Asylum.
Yeah, he lost his whole front wing, so it's going to be a really long trip back to the pits. And I bet he wishes you could just turn around and go into the pit lane that way. But that's only for practice qualifying sessions when you can do that.
Yeah, so this virtual safety car has neutralized the race positions for the time being, until we go green once again towards the end of lap 19 and possibly onto lap 20. But right now Sam is going to have the opportunity to get a better restart than Zag, depending on where that safety car decides to end. Sam really close, not really close, but he's close to the back of the Ferrari, trying to predict that. Hopefully, oh, DJ Panda's picked up a drive-through penalty, so it's none of the top 3 have picked up that drive through. Sam not going to be close enough to make the move, but now Scavney on the move, trying to go to the inside for P number 2. Sam trying to go goes deep, trying to defend that position, but now they're going to be side by side once again for P2. It's going to be Scavney and Sam. They're going to side by side through turn 2. Scavney trying to round the outside of turn 2. He tried this a lap ago and it didn't work, but he's going to be squeezed out on the exit. So Sam M really defending that position in P2, but he's just not close enough, or doesn't have the ERS to get the move done. He's below 10% going into turn 4 there. On the ERS storage, so he doesn't have the ERS to try and make his way past the Ferrari, but he does have the DRS, just not enough momentum for the Red Bull driver, not able to get past the Ferrari, who's driving a brilliant race so far in P1 for the time being. Let's see what Sam and Scavney can do to fight, try and fight that and get that win on track. Sam M will have to overcome a 3-second time penalty, but yeah, he's really showed some amazing pace so far.
Yeah, I think if Sam, he's got the penalty, and I was kind of in the same position last season. I needed Puck to pick up another penalty for me to win that race, so I tried my best to try to force him into a penalty. And I think that's probably what Sam needs to try to do, is force Zag into a penalty. But Scavney, I think if Known Asylum didn't come out of the pit, Scavney probably would have pulled to the inside there.
Yeah, he was pretty far to the inside, and he was, from my point of view, was out of the way, but that was just enough to deter Scavney for trying to send one up the inside on the brakes of the Red Bull in front of him. Wolfsburg still in P4, so he's doing a really, really good job. Actually, is Wolfsburg holding on to that position. He's not in the penalty window of Sam M in second place, but he's driving a really, really good race on those hard tires. He does have Monkey Mafia on the mediums just in behind, but Barkskull on those 17-lap-old hard tires is really putting in a big buffer to the guys behind. GP Cullen struggling to stay with them. Lit Romney out of DRS as well, but he did apparently set a purple for a sector. I'm not exactly sure how true that is, but now it's going to be Bobby and RC. Bobby coming down from Tier 1 last season. RC, as it was on pole position there, two possible front runners, or looked like possible front runners. Bobby in the preseason race looked very, very strong before a mistake. But yeah, both these drivers are really down the field where you wouldn't expect them.
Yeah, I think definitely some disappointing races for, I'd say at least a quarter of this field. I think just not being in the position that they wanted and a few mistakes in the first laps.
Yeah, both of them are really starting to get onto the back of Lit Romney, but the battle for the lead is even closer than those three drivers. Sam Zig trying to weave, trying to break that slipstream, trying to use as little ERS as possible, trying to save it for the rest of this race. We're on lap 22 as Sam has a little bit of a slide, trying to get the best exit possible out of turn 2, but it's going to be to no avail. He closes up in within 2/10 of the Ferrari driver in front of him, but not close enough to make that move. Scavney in P3 just a little bit further back behind, not going to be close enough to make a move, as well as Wolfsburg picks up a time penalty in P4, so that's not going to be good for him. I heard a little bit of disbelief from you, your former teammate in P4, having a really good race. Ooh, that's a Williams. I thought that was maybe one of the front runners, but I think that's known as Salem, who's been having a really, really disappointing race here tonight on this Thursday evening for Tier 2, round number 2 for Zenith Online Racing. He's starting to get out of the way. He's actually spun as Lit Romney has gone off the track there, but now I think Lit Romney, or Bobby, trying to get that move done through turn number 10, I do believe that is. Yeah, he got the move done around the outside of turn 10, but now RC going to be really close as well. Not close enough to make the move, though. Unfortunately for the McLaren driver, he's not going to have to he's going to watch Bobby possibly pull away from the Alfa Romeo in front of him. He's still going to be stuck behind Lit Romney, trying to get past as soon as possible now. But the battle for the race lead, Zig defending it well once again. Sam not having the RS to get the move done. Scavney closing up, but not close enough. RC to the inside. No, he's not going to go for it into turn 1. So really, RC is starting to struggle on these medium tires. Actually, as I say that, going to the outside for turn 2, his McLaren teammate tried this on a driver just 2 laps ago. He tried it twice, but he's going to be able to get that one done around the outside of turn 2. A great move there.
Yeah, really good move from RC. He is on the same tires as Lit Romney, but I think that's just the pace advantage that RC has with this setup. And we've lost both the Williams so far, with Bieber and Known Asylum both retiring from this race. So they won't be scoring any points. And I think just a really, really disappointing day for... Okay, a really disappointing week for the Williams, I'll just say that. We need to start representing.
Yeah, I think total, if I take a quick look on Twitter, hold on, give me like 10 seconds. If I can take a quick look at the overall standings, going into last week, Williams have only scored 1 point so far. Throughout all 3 tiers. Ooh. Yeah, and that was you. But Tempura has actually made a huge mistake out of turn 13. He's had a little bit of spin, lost his front wing on lap, what would be for him lap 23. But the battle for the lead is still really, really interesting. Zig in P1, a little bit of a gap to Sam, but a little bit of a gap might just be an exaggeration. Scavney 6/10 back off the Red Bull. He doesn't have a time penalty, but Sam does. Right now in second place. Ooh, he goes off the track there at turn number 9. He's going to be losing a lot of time to Zig in front of him, but now Scavney could possibly see his opportunity in front of him as Bobby picks up a time penalty, being pressured by RC for P8. But now looking once again onto the battle for the podium. This is going to be the podium if it finishes this way. Zig, Scavney, and Sam will be your top 3. They will all be in the commentary box later on in this race if they can finish this way. But Sam gets a better exit than Scavney. Had the better final sector, and he was able to pull away through those final 3 corners, but he's not going to be able to make the move on Zig, unfortunately enough. Not going to make it interesting for this one. But right now, RC, after not having Lit Romney in front of him, Bobby doesn't have DRS. Now RC showing the pace that he could have possibly had in this one. He's going to be moving up into P8 in front of Bobby Tavo. Let's see if Bobby can try and fight it back. He's not going to be using the ERS. Oh, virtual safety cars. Tempura's out.
Yeah, he retired at turn 5. I mean, it's not uncommon. It's definitely struggled as well in this race, and he's actually backed it into the wall too. That's a big one.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how he ended up there, because he is missing a left front tire. Maybe he hit on the left front and then spun around and got that rear end into the back as well. So there's no chance for him moving away from the scene of the incident. As yeah, his car will now be cleared up. But looking, actually, at a few drivers who are starting to make their way through the fields. RC and Bobby. RC making up 2 positions in the last 2 laps as we do go green. Sam, I don't think is going to be close enough. Scavney losing a little bit of time as well. But RC and Bobby starting to make their way through the field. Let's see what RC can do. Trying to pull along the run-up. But now looking out of the battle for the race lead. Zyg not going to be able to go on board with him because he does have that gear glitch. Using enough overtake to stay in front of the Red Bull. We're going on to lap 26. Are the leaders. But Sam Scavney not going to be able to make that move. 8 seconds back. To Wolfsburg, who does have the 3-second time penalty, but Monkey Mafia and Barksco fighting for P4 here. Just in behind Wolfsburg, none of them are going to be close enough to make a move. Bobby getting very, very close to the back of the McLaren of RC, but going a little bit wide there. As you can see, he's on the curve for the exit, and that's not going to be good for his rear tires. They're going to be starting to wheel spin, and he's going to be making a little bit of a mistake there on tracks. He's going to be losing time to RC, but now RC is going to be trying to gain time on GP Colin in front of him. They're on the same lap old tires in terms of laps done on them, but GP Con is going to be on those hard tires, trying to close in to Barkschool, trying to close in to that battle for lap for P4. GP Con doesn't have a time penalty, so if he can make his way through that train, he could possibly pick up P4 there on track. I was going to try and save something with the podium, but not really close enough to that podium. It's 8.3 seconds between the top 3 and Wolfsburg there. It's actually, Wolfsburg has broken DRS to Monkey Mafia, which is pretty interesting. GP Colin has gotten within DRS ranges. RC is 1 second back. Is he going to be close enough for the DRS, for that very, very helpful DRS? I think he is. RC is going to be within DRS range, so this is going to be a huge battle for P4. The battle for the lead is still not that interesting. Scavgy may be getting a better exit, but no, he's not going to be close enough to Sam M on track. So the battle for the podium seems pretty seems pretty solidified. But yeah, this battle now for P4, the battle for the podium, or the places outside the podium, is actually going to be really interesting. Let's see what other drivers can do, especially RC and Bobby on those mediums.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the podium guys, I think they're probably just going to stay where they're at and just take the good points that they're going to get. I mean, Sam M, if he finishes 3rd, he'll still get 15 points. So that's not a bad haul for this race. So I hope they keep it clean. But yeah, this battle for P4 is going to get really, really interesting towards closing stages.
Scavney's made a mistake.
Oh yeah.
So now looking on board, Zyg is saved up to 57% ERS. Sam hasn't been using his ERS, so he's going to be trying to maybe get past on this one. Scavney is not going to be close enough. It's 1.9 seconds back. Sam used just around 10% of his ERS, but he's not going to be close enough to make the move on Zyg. So Zyg's still defending this one for all that he can. He seems to have the pace to keep him behind, but I wonder if he has the pace to stick with him. RC now on those fresh medium, or well, not fresh medium tires, but he's been on them for 13 laps now. Let's see what he can do. Up into turn 1, GP Colin on the outside. RC doesn't have a time penalty, so he could be picking up another position here, as Monkey Mafia is going to be picking up a time penalty in P5 right now, so that's another free place for RC. So right now he's in net P5, just in behind Bark School, is actually having a really, really solid race in P6. He did pick up 4th place last time out in USA, so looking for another solid race for him. But RC has to get within the DRS, which he just has, but also GP Con has dropped a position to Bobby as well. But as we look now back towards the battle for the lead, Sam M not getting past Zyg is actually really hurting him, because now Scavney's closed in half a second.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Scavney's closed in. I would imagine that Salmon and Zyg would just kind of DRS off of each other and they would pull away, but Scavney still seems like he's got the pace in those tires to really, I would say, make up for his mistake that he made. And he won't get DRS this lap, but he's using all of his overtake.
Sam trying to send it into turn 1. Ooh. They're getting very, very close to Sam. Picks up a second time penalty. They have a little bit of contact. But Zyg trying to use all that overtake, trying to get back in front of the Red Bull. But now Sam, he used all of his ERS reserve, trying to send it around the turn 2. He defended it from Scavney just a few laps ago. Is he going to be able to get this move? He sends it up the inside of turn 3, trying to keep his Red Bull in that. He's trying to get that race lead, but will back out of it going up towards turn 4. Sam used literally everything he possibly could have. He used that last warning. He used the contact on the front of his car, and he used all of his ERS. That's possibly going to be the last opportunity for him. Now Scavney is closed up as well, so he's going to have to think about Scavney after not having that pressure behind for 2 laps. Sam picked up another time penalty, so I don't think Sam could possibly win this race, and something absolutely catastrophic happens for either Zag or for Scavney. So the podium positions seem to be for the time being, but positions that are not locked up right now. Wolfsburg Colin all super close as RC picks up a penalty.
Yeah, the penalties, they're flying now. I think everyone was probably getting 1 or 2 warnings in the beginning of this race, and now they know they have to make a move, so they're just exploring the out of bounds area. So I think penalties, I was hoping penalties were going to play an effect in the finishing order, but I think they will.
Yeah, RC trying to use all of his overtake. He was down to 3% there just before braking into turn 1 and getting a little bit of that back up to 14% for the McLaren driver, but he's not going to be close enough to make the move on Barkschool. Hightower picking up a time penalty in P14. Both Mercedes, it doesn't look like, will be scoring points, but RC really close to the back of the Renault of Barkschool. Barkschool as well. Barkschool has been on those tires, on those hard tires for so long. He's been on them for 26 laps. A great drive for him as Terminal Dady sets to 17 dead in P13 on those fresh soft tires. And Soyloco is once again starting to make his way through the field as he's been trying to do all race. Sam starting to struggle on those hard tires. Actually, RC is getting back to, close to the back of Barkschool once again. They aren't going to have DRS here, but I don't think RC is going to be close enough for this one. Barkschool, or Wolfsburg out in front of this train is starting to derate. Monkey Mafia derating, or low on ERS as well as I think almost everyone in this train. Barkschool, Scavney, all low on ERS. Bobby is on around 50%. GP Colin around the same as well. At the back of the train, but he's gonna have no hope of making a move because of all the people who have DRS in front of him. Monkey Mafia a little bit further back off the Haas in front of him, but Barkschool and RC, but everyone just not close enough to make a move here.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see the full effect of the DRS train here, and no one can make a move. But I think Monkey Mafia, he seems to have the better pace over Wolfsburg. I would expect that being on the mediums, but they're about the same tire life. But I mean, minus the penalties, this is a really good drive for some of these guys. Especially, I think a few of these guys came from the back of the field at the start.
Yeah, most definitely. Wolfsburg in P4, one of the better drives of his Tier 2 career. RC once again getting very close to the back of Barkschool. He showed what he could do in qualifying, but just really struggling after having a spin. The safety car brought him back into this one, but just struggling to get through the field. He might have an opportunity here down towards turn 12, but not going to be close enough. Is the McLaren driver not willing to send it? I think once you make that first move, you can really start to gain a little bit of momentum through the train. Scavney, battle for top 3, not going to be close enough. Scavney has no ERS, but now Barkschool, Monkey Mafia is really struggling on those medium tires. They're going to be starting to die off, but now Monkey Mafia, Barkschool, RC all going to be super close, but not going to be close enough to make moves once again. Monkey Mafia has DRS, but Barkschool gonna be up the inside of the Alpha Tower in the Renault. He's gonna get that 5th place on track. RC trying to get up the inside as well as Monkey Mafia starts to struggle. RC has 2 lap fresher tires. Monkey Mafia trying to squeeze him to the inside of that little right kink, but now RC has a huge lockup going off the track. He's gonna be losing, or he's not gonna actually be losing any positions, but he's lost his opportunity on Monkey Mafia. That was the one opportunity that he could have had. That was his best opportunity to make up places in this race, but he struggled. He had that huge lockup. He made that one mistake, and now it's going to cost him so many places because of that.
Yeah, a costly mistake for RC. And I'm going to take a look at the penalties here. They're all on 3 seconds, except for Barkschool and GP Colin. So those guys are fighting for positions. I think GP Colin will finish ahead of them if he doesn't pick up a penalty. So they're fighting for, I think, P7, 8, and 9. So this is really important for them to stay, or to try to fight one another and just pick up that extra point or two that they'll get.
Yeah, but you can see right now Monkey Mafia is really struggling on those medium tires. He's been on them for so long, but now RC, he doesn't have a driver in front of him who has DRS, but he's not close enough to make the move on the Alpha Tower. Monkey Mafia getting a little bit on the grass there. Into the braking zone, but not going to affect him too much. He didn't have a lockup, he didn't go deep, but just really struggling on those tires. That's going to be losing him that time. RC, Bobby Tava, and GP Colin all starting to close up as well, but Monkey Mafia has really been that cork in the bottle so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to drop off from Barstool and Wolfsburg, and so I'm really interested to see if Barstool can get past Wolfsburg here. They'll get him on the penalties anyway, but I think just the overtake and finishing ahead of him on track, I think it's got to be a bit more exciting for him, at least, and a bit more satisfaction.
Yeah, it'd be definitely more satisfaction for a lot of drivers looking towards the front of the field. I don't think Sam M is going to be close enough. Zag has driven this race to absolute perfection so far. He had a little bit of a slip up with Sam M trying to send one, but Zag is on. Actually, Zag is starting to struggle a little bit on ERS. He's pretty low. He's on 25%, but it is lap 34. It is the penultimate lap. Sam having a big spin. Scabney really struggling on those tires as well. He had the ERS, or he had the overtake activated, so those rear tires are starting spun up, and he got into the grass there. So another costly mistake there for Scabney. Wolfsburg goes very deep into turn one. Has a little bit of a slide, but Barkskull tried to send one up the inside because of that. But now Monkey Mafia and RC. This is RC's chance to make up the positions on track, but Monkey Mafia defending the inside of turn two. RC all the way around the outside. He's gonna be able to get that one done. Bobby trying to follow him through. GP Colin a little bit further back, but RC using that defending line, blocking Monkey Mafia, trying to get the angle for this turn four. Bobby all the way around the outside of Monkey Mafia at turn four, but he's gonna have to back out of that one. Possibly getting an illegal overtake for overtaking the Alpha Tower driver off the track. But yeah, that was a great battle. RC finally made the positions, but he made them too late because he's dropped so much time to Barkskull. We are going to be going on to the final lap. Zag, Sam, and Scavney lead us on to lap number 35 in the final tour of the Hungaroring circuit. Is Sam going to be close enough? Zag going to be starting to derate there, but Sam is derating as well and has DRS, but he's not going to be close enough. That's been the story for this entire race. Sam, I don't even if he gets past, I don't think he's going to be pacey enough to get those positions because of the penalties. Yeah, he's going to be staying behind for this last lap of the race. Barks go on Wolfsburg. He's going to be trying it again around the outside. He was closer this time. He's going to be trying around the outside of turn one. Wolfsburg is going to be trying to squeeze him off the track, but Barkskull is still there. Going to be side by side down the hill toward turn two. Wolfsburg has a little bit of advantage, and Barkskull will have to back off out of that one. Barkskull doesn't have the penalty, so not going to be risking either wing damage or just podiums. A little bit of contact between Monkey Mafia and Bobby Tava in behind. GP Colin trying to send one. He really he's lost touch to RC out in front of this, just got past Monkey Mafia last lap. He's lost touch to them, so GP Con only fighting for P7 right here, but RC is right on the back of Barkskull as well. He could possibly make up this place and maybe get onto the back of Wolfsburg. I think it's a little bit of a lost cause now, but Zag is going to be rounding the final corner. It was the top three from last week. It's going to be top three for this week as well. It's going to be Zag taking the race win, followed by Sam, but Scavney will be jumping him on those time penalties. Sam finishing in P3 on the bottom step of the podium. It was the opposite order that we had from USA that we have in Hungary, but Wolfsburg, a great drive to keep it in P4 on track, but he's going to be dropping that one position to Barkskull. Barkskull is going to be taking fourth twice in a row, twice in 2 weeks. Wolfsburg dropping down to fifth place with that penalty. RC going to be finishing in sixth. GP Colin, Monkey Mafia, Bobby Tava, and Lit Romney will end out the top 10. So Loco with a pretty decent drive, finishing in well, as I say that, I wanted to say P11, but he's going to be dropping down to P12. He had contact. He had the pace to be up there with the front runners. So did RC as well. He had the pace to be up with the front runners, but contact with other drivers, just mistakes, cost them those positions and eventually those points. RC was able to make up some of it, but Soyloka not able to recover that. So it's going to be Zag, Scavney, and Sam on the podium for this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised that a lot of the guys that had the early lap incidents were able to come back from that and try to put on a good show as the game gives Bobby driver of the day. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see the reactions of the podium guys once we get them in the box to see if any of them deserve driver of the day. But I think Zyg, I think he led every single lap, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's true. Yeah, yeah, I think that seems right. I mean, he lost the lead obviously at on lap one because of RC having that Sam M put on a late charge for that race lead. Oh, around lap 29. But yeah, I think Zag held across the line every time, and he was in the race lead. But it's going to be Zag, Scavney, P1, P2, Sam M following them on the third step of the podium. Berkskoll, Wolfsburg, RC, GP Colin, Monkey Mafia, Bobby Tava, and Lit Romney will be scoring the points for this one. DJ Panda, Soy Loco, Terminal Deity, Hightower, Purplo, Squirrel, Tempura, Known Asylum, and Niebuhr, the two Williams boys, the only two, two Williams boys, as well as Tempura, the three non-finishers, Purple Squirrel being one lap down. And Terminal Deity will take a fastest lap on a 17.000. I believe that was 0.112 faster than Scavney's fastest lap last season in season 4 in Hungary. But yeah, let's get those three drivers on. Let's get those three drivers into the commentary booth.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, I mean they have outed themselves as well the three championship contenders all both weeks in a row now that they have finished on the podium. So quite interesting for those three guys. They should be in the party, but I'm not exactly sure. Let's take a quick look. They should all be here. Sam is now here. Let us look for D Zyg. 0, 0. Zyg is in here, and then let's look for Scavney at 720. Scavney is in here as well. So we'll just wait for the other two drivers to get in here. But now we can start the interview for Sam as he's the first one in here. So Sam had a dominant performance in the USA last week and was in that battle for the race win on track. Eventually not able to get it on track, but you did pick up 2-time penalties. So ended up finishing P3. How do you feel about that race?
Yeah, just a hard race. I don't like this track, and it was hard to keep it in the limits. But I would like to congratulate Zach. Hell of a race. I mean, I couldn't get close. I think he had a slippery setup. He must have. And yeah. So and well done, Scavney too. He's got second place. So yeah, I'm just happy that I actually, gone to the podium.
Yeah, it was a good race from you, Sam. But you mentioned that you didn't, or that you don't really like that track, and I think it showed with the two penalties that you got. But with these upcoming races, do you hope that you can be on the top step instead of on the third step of the podium?
Yeah, if I were a little more consistent, it would have been second today, and that's almost as good as a win for me in this track. And um, if I had maybe a slipperier setup, I would have been able to overtake Zag. But yeah, he was just in the straights. I couldn't catch him. So yeah, I think I feel pretty good in the next few races. So yeah, I'll take that third place and run with it for now.
Yeah, I do believe you are still leading the championship by 1 point. Um, I think Zyke and Scabney are both tied, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure.
I
Uh,
think, yeah, I think Sam's a point ahead because we each got first and third, but he got fastest lap
yeah,
at
USA. So yeah, I think Sam's leading by 1, and then it's tied between Zyke and Scabney.
Oh, really?
Actually, no. Hold on.
Yeah,
I think
because Cavney
yeah.
got P2 both races, so yeah.
Uh,
Right?
yeah. So
18 and 18 would be 36, and I had
we had first and third, which is
25 and
40.
50, 40. So yeah, it's
Uh,
41, 40, 38,
yeah.
or 36.
So yeah, Scavney a little bit further back behind, but yeah. Next driver, Scavney. Not. I don't want to say not the greatest races from you. You got that. You were on the train, but once you were in clean air after making a few mistakes, your pace was absolutely rapid. So how do you feel about that one and possibly not being able to show your full potential for those 35 laps?
Well, I mean, I knew it was pretty quick, but that's how Hungary goes. It's tough to pass, and you get the inside line on T1, and you're on the outside for T2. I mean, I know I tried it a couple times. It just didn't work. So I'm not gonna try to send it up the inside completely screw us both over. But a little bit frustrating. But we'll always take a P2.
Yeah, Scabney finishing on the podium still, I think, is a really good result. Especially for all three of you guys. I mean, you're all within a point of each other in the standings. So are you hoping for this pace to continue and to continue fighting these three guys all the way to the end of the final race?
Well, of course, yeah. I think the three of us are in a going to be in a very tight battle. I mean, there's lots of competition here. Baku next week. It's gonna be interesting, I think, especially throughout the rest of the season. I got some of my good tracks coming up in the second half, so we'll see how that goes for us.
So yeah, now on to Zyg, race winner. You came down for Tier 1 last season, and you've had two really good performances in a row. So how do you feel about fighting the other two guys in the commentary box for a possible Tier 2 championship?
I mean, it's gonna be a year long or season long battle. Like if these first two races were any indication, it's gonna be every single race. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be it's gonna be more sweaty hands and more nervous racing, but it'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to it.
As I think, if me and Packer aren't mistaken, you led every single lap of this race, so an absolutely
Yep.
dominant performance from you. Um, but I have no idea what I'm going to ask you. Um, I'm so bad at this. Um, oh man, I've already asked both of the other guys what their predictions are for the next coming races. So whatever. What are your predictions for the next coming races, especially knowing that you
Hmm.
guys are so close?
I think I never want to bet on somebody else to win a race because I always want to bet on myself. If I had to. But if I would not, I will say I would not be surprised if Scavney wins next week, and there's three different race winners in 3 different weeks. Um, so I would expect that. And, yeah, just Baku's going to be crazy next week. I also wouldn't be surprised if we lose multiple drivers on the first lap. But if I had to bet on somebody else next week, it would be Scavney, just purely for three winners in 3 weeks. But that's about it.
Yeah, so we have Zyg's predictions for next week. How about Scavney and Sam? What are you guys feeling about for Azerbaijan?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of just who can keep the nose clean. I mean, there's bound to be mistakes in the safety car probably at some point, so it's all going to come down to who can capitalize on that. I think we might see a chance for one of the midfield drivers next week.
Yeah, I like Baku, and like Scavney said, if we can keep it clean, I think we can fight it out. But yeah, that's the trick. It's keeping it clean. Good track though. Very very. I like that straight. Some chances to overtake, unlike this fucking track.
Yeah, once you said I like that strat, I knew where this was probably going. But yeah, Sunday is going to be EU, possibly, well, most likely myself and either probably Mavic, unless I'm solo coming again. For Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT. And then next week, Tier 1 will be kicking us off at Azerbaijan on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursday as well for Tier 2. It'll be me, and I think Camden will be back for that one. So, yeah, Tier 2, great race at the Hungary Ring. And that's been all, folks.